Hello.
Hi, everybody.
We are Rachel and Megan from Reader Art Ramble. We just read an article on NPR.org called What Kids Are Reading in School and Out. And then we saw that Rincey Reads and Monica from Monilyn, I'm not sure how you pronounce that.
Yeah. Sorry, Monica.
They made responses to the article. And since we are high schoolers, we have a lot of things to say about this topic.
Basically, the article talks about how the reading level of high school students and middle school age students is kind of stopping at about middle school level, and it's not growing past there. And
one of the quotes is, "High schoolers are reading books written for younger kids, and teachers aren't assigning difficult classics as much as they once did." We have some issues.
We obviously have some feelings on all of that. So as far as like the books being for younger kids, I don't actually I don't understand that. First of all,
they talk about reading levels and how high schoolers are reading books that are on the reading level of like 10-year-olds.
Like the Hunger Games is on the reading level of 10-year-olds?
Yeah, and it's based on vocabulary and complexity of the sentence structure, not content. A book that a 16-year-old in high school would read is not the same book that a 10-year-old in 4th grade should be reading. Books meant for teenagers are about topics that are not meant to be read by younger kids for a reason, because they are mature and just not appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for, like, if you are mature enough in 4th grade or whatever to handle reading a book that a 16-year-old would read, that's surprising, that's amazing. I mean, I was probably reading things that age that I, maturity-wise, should not have been reading. But, I mean, if you discuss that with your parents or whatever and you're, like, ready for that, that's cool. But I don't understand how there's a set reading level, like, you can read books that are meant for this age.
It depends on the person and it depends on the book. It's not, like, a thing you can calculate. The idea that high schoolers shouldn't be reading books that are meant for younger readers doesn't, like, make sense to me. Because if you're enjoying a book, who cares what the intended audience is?
Yeah. I know for me, like, there was a book series, The Sisters Grimm, that I started reading in middle school, and the last book just came out, like, last year, so I read the last book as a freshman in high school, and obviously, I mean, the book has, like, pictures in it. It's not meant for high schoolers, but I still loved it just as much.
You're allowed to like books and read them, even if they don't necessarily challenge you with their impressive vocabulary and complex sentence structure. Like, so many teenagers don't read, so you should be happy that they are reading anything, even if it's something that you don't think is, like, on their age level.
Especially, like, as a teacher. I mean, there's the one quote in the article that really kind of annoyed me, that it was a teacher that was surveyed her class to see, like, what their favorite genres were, and they mentioned sci-fi, horror, fantasy, fairy tales. The teacher was, like, not okay with this.
Yeah, that's saying that those genres are not
as good or don't have as much to offer, but I mean, obviously they do. I mean, Harry Potter and stuff is in those genres, and there is a reason there's a whole Harry Potter generation. I'm just saying.
You can analyze and, learn a lot from a book in the science fiction or fantasy category. Like, that, just because it's about that sort of subject doesn't mean it's not a complex book. Even if you don't, like, learn a lesson from the book, that's okay. You can read for enjoyment. It's a form of entertainment, and kids outside of school should be allowed to read whatever they want and have fun with it. So, you know what? If that is a book meant for 5th graders, fine. That's why is that such an issue? I'd rather see these kids who never read pick up a book.
I don't care if they're reading The Green Eggs and Ham, as long as they're reading.
Yes, exactly. I mean, and because they can start off with these younger books, and then if they enjoy it, they might start to read more and more and more, and then all of a sudden they'll be reading some complex, classic good old literature from centuries ago that everyone considers wonderful. So sometimes you just have to start with the easier stuff. Yeah. So another thing this article says is that kids in high school don't read as many classics as they used to. And of course, I've only been to high school now. I do not know what it was like in the past because I was not there. But we read classics. I don't understand that part of the article. I mean, obviously every school is different, but for us in the past, we just finished our sophomore year.
Today, when we were filming this, we just finished our sophomore year.
So we have 2 years of books in English class, and here's what we read. We read 13 Reasons Why, which was the summer reading assignment. We read Speak. We read
Midsummer's Night Dream.
Yes.
That year.
And Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes.
Also, we did read parts of the Odyssey.
Yeah, we had like one of those like lit textbooks with it in it. We didn't like sit there with the whole Odyssey.
Yeah. And then sophomore year, we read Anthem, Of Mice and Men, The Catcher in the Rye, Death of a Salesman,
and The Crucible.
Yes. Also, the things they carried was our
that was our summer reading book.
The article says that teachers apparently don't teach classics anymore in favor of more accessible books.
Clearly not
more
true.
Modern books. But we have read on that list 13 Reasons Why and Speak were published. I mean, 2000s. I don't know exactly
I mean, the things they carried was pretty recent, too. The first two were freshman year, and the other one was the beginning of this year. So everything else that we read this year was all classics.
Yes. And the article also says that the only classics people read in high school are by Shakespeare, which
Lies.
No.
We did not even read Shakespeare this year. Yeah. It didn't happen.
Freshman year we read A Midsummer's Night Dream.
And we
A Midsummer Night's Dream, which...
A Midsummer Night's Dream.
I always forget that.
I always forget where the apostrophe goes.
One of them.
Apostrophe, yes.
And then we didn't read anything sophomore year, and I believe in the next 2 years we will read, at most, 2 more.
Yeah.
Clearly, we're not just studying Shakespeare books and, like, more modern... accessible books.
Yeah.
We are reading classics. I don't really understand the complex, I don't really know how you define that.
Yeah, I mean, is it just, there's big words, there's really a lot of descriptions and, 2-page long description before something happens? I don't know what that means.
And, Anthem by Ayn Rand. It's seriously like an 80-page short story. Sucked
pretty complex.
Every we sucked every little bit of juice from that.
Yeah.
And we related it to just
everything possible
throughout the entire school year. We're still coming back to Anthem. There weren't big fancy sentences, and I didn't have to look up any words when I was reading. It was a relatively simple book, but we still managed to make it complex. And so a lot of it is the teachers and how they teach it. And if you can take a book that might not have on the surface the greatest meaning, and you can find a way to, first of all, make the kids enjoy it, or at least not hate it, and then get them to get something out of it, then that's the whole point. So, yes. That article...
Our feelings on that article.
I felt like it was just... I don't think it was accurate to the high school experience, and I hope as high schoolers we're able to somehow give our perspective.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously this is relevant for mostly our school, because we don't go to any other high schools.
Yeah, we don't know what it's like in other schools, but I mean, it doesn't change all that much.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like the type of article that's trying to take information from one place and make it too general and make it kind of applied to everyone when it really doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And who cares, if you're reading a book that's technically written for a 5th or 6th grader and you're 16 years old? Yeah. Do it. If you like it and that's what you want to read, do it. Please, read. Please.
There are much bigger things we should be worrying about than...
High schoolers have much bigger issues than reading a book that's technically too young for them. Trust me.
Word.
Let us know in the comments or anything, or your own video responses.
Continue this discussion.
Keep talking about this article. Tell us what you think, what your high school does, or if you're a teacher or a librarian, what you think about it, what you do at your school. Thanks for listening to us.
Yeah, hopefully this wasn't too long or too boring.
Sorry if it was.
I've been spinning around in my chair the whole time, so hopefully that doesn't bother you. But, yeah, so thank you, and goodbye.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Keep that in.